Ladies and gentlemen, how you doing? It's your brother Bolo VNR, and we're here with another one. You know, oftentimes we don't get opportunities to say big up the police. We're seeing this one, more obviously big up the police. You know, and we also want to talk about an article from our spokesperson, two of our spokesperson, Denise Daly, and also, you know, Mr. Julian Robinson, right? Among the situation with Mr. Buchanan, also a young man that needs some help, you know, urgent, health-wise. That and more on this one, ladies and gentlemen, all right? And of course, before I begin, I just want to say condolences to the family of the judge that lost her life. Also, I am pleading from this platform that there needs to be some deeper investigation in regards to that case. Personally, my heart does not settle with them just thinking it's a suicide. I think they need to really look into that case even more. Something does not sound very right. All right, so condolences to the family. Very unfortunate with the judge. You know, very unfortunate. So yeah, let's get to the video. All right, let me share my screen. All right, let's go. So, more obviously big up to the police. Them take a look at this, ladies and gentlemen. It says police continue search for missing schoolboy. You know, on this platform, I've talked about many times how many of our children are missing, and I feel like, you know, the system doesn't do enough. You understand? And listen, let's look at this. Police swarmed the Wesley Road and Mandeville on Wednesday evening following the reported sighting of a child to be missing Manchester High School boy Jaden Smith after they were alerted by the citizens that the child matching his description eluded passerby who tried to approach him. You understand? Observer saw several police personnel and citizens combing the area at about 6 p.m. moments after the child was spotted. You understand? Yeah, this case right here, police treating death of parish judge as suicide. Hey, rethink that. Anyway, an eyewitness explaining what she saw said the child ran off when citizens tried to approach him. Interesting. I was driving when I saw him and a man was calling out the people for help. The boy was running where there was a taxi that was passing at the time too, but the boy ran off by the time I turned my car around, she said. All right, police confirmed that they were alerted by citizens of the child being seen. Since Tuesday, there has been an intense search for a 12-year-old child who went missing after school last Friday. The police were still in search of the child to 7:30 p.m. Principal Manchester High Jasford Gabriel and staff from school also turned up at the section of Wesley Road as word of the sighting of children of the young man spread. This is him. Wow, I don't know what's the situation. Let's pray that he is home with his parents ASAP. All right, now, oh sorry, let me play this. Definitely gotta play this. Alright, so that is the clip from that scene, ladies and gentlemen. Now, move on to the next thing. This 32-year-old appeals for help for with his 32,000 US dollar for urgent life-saving kidney transplant. Andrew White, 32-year-old, lead technician needs the public's assistance in raising 32,000 US, approximately Jamaican 5 million, for an urgent life-saving kidney transplant. A GoFundMe has been organized. The Mitchelltown Clarendon native who lives alone is currently only able to work once or twice a week because of his symptoms, that paired with 2 weeks dialysis treatment totaling 120,000 per month has put a financial strain on him. Normally, when I could go to work every day, I can only go like a day or two, and then that's it, he told the Observer Online, noting that it had been one of his easier days. The thing is, I work to pay myself, you know. The entertainment sector is like, not every day there is something going on. There are times when I'm able to work to cover my dialysis for the week, and there are times when I'm unable to even for the past week I was unable to pay for one session because I currently owe for some sessions right now. Work wasn't as it should have been, so I do find challenges right here. The father of one noted that when he encountered hurdles, he asked for help from friends and family, neighbors, and who help when they can. Still, he hopes to be rid of the condition. He says he wouldn't wish on his worst enemy. Due to the illness, he has also developed hypertension. I was suffering from hydronephrosis, hydronephrosis, which is an infection of the kidney. Whoa. For like 2 or 3 years now, I was doing my treatment for it, and then it became kidney failure. His main symptom included feeling weak, lightheaded, as well as unbearable pain. Noting he tries to maintain a positive mindset. Why it is encouraged in everyone to take control of their health. Based on my experience, the thing I would want to encourage others to do is to focus on their health, pay keen attention to their diet, and drink a lot of water, because that is very important. Most of all, it's also expensive, so I would want everyone to pay keen attention to their health and get some regular checkups. He said. Those who wish to donate, the GoFundMe right here, ladies and gentlemen, please take a screenshot of that in 2, 3, 4, 5, 1. You can always go back. Alright, so help out the Virgins in. Buchanan bid to void St. Andrew West Central election rejected. I really don't understand this, and I'm waiting to hear from the lawyers how this goes. But Kingston, Jamaica Constitutional Authority has rejected a request by Paul Buchanan, the losing candidate in the recent concluded general election for St. Andrew West Central, to have the constituency result declared void. The PMP candidate lost his bid to represent the St. Andrew West Central seat to Jamaica Labour Party leader Andrew Ones, who amassed whatever. In latter date, September 16th, Buchanan urged Constituent Authority to apply to the Election Court on basis of Section 37E, the Election Petition Act. That provision allows for election to be challenged where violence or irregularities on polling day could cause a substantial distortion of subversion of the process for free and fair election. Buchanan supported his claims with several affidavits from himself and other individuals. Witnesses, However, after reviewing the submission and relevant case law, the authority ruled that the evidence fell short of the threshold set out in the legislation. As a result, the authority declined to take the matter to court. Buchanan was officially informed of the decision in writing on September 30, along with the authorities detailed reason for refusal. So, you hear what them say? Enough evidence not there. So them say. Alright? Now, daily calls for greater support and respect for Jamaican elders. Kingston opposition, gender, Kingston and Jamaica opposition spokesperson on gender, the elder and persons with disabilities, Dennis Daly, has urged Jamaicans to renew their commitment to protect and supporting the nation's elderly population as the country joins the world in making the International Day of Older Persons. In marking the International Day of Older Persons, my apologies. In a statement released on Wednesday, Daly described older persons as the backbone of our society, highlighting their roles as teachers, caregivers, cultural bearers, and nation builders. She stressed, however, that too many continue to face neglect, abuse, social isolation, and inadequate support through. This year, observance reminds us of the individual role our elders continue to play in shaping our communities and preserving our values, even as they face new complex challenges, Daly said. She encouraged Jamaicans to reflect not only on how they treat elders in their household, but also on how national policies and institutions address their needs. Respecting and protecting older persons, she added, in both a moral obligation and an investment into values of justice, compassion, and continuity that hold our nation together. I agree. Daily call for Jamaica, where elders are fully included in national life, supported with proper care, celebrated for their wisdom and resilience. To all our elders, we thank you, we honor you, and we pledge to stand with you, she concluded. All right, that is Miss Daly right there. Now, the main reason why I did this live stream is this article right here. Okay, opposition raises concerns over under execution of capital budget. Under execution, ladies and gentlemen, let that sink in. Under execution of capital budget. What does that mean? Well, here we go. Kingston, Jamaica opposition concern about what he describes as a consistent pattern of under execution in Jamaica's capital budget. Robinson remarks follow a release from the Independent Fiscal Commission IFC, which reported that only 20.1 billion was spent in the first quarter of the fiscal year FY 25-26 compared to a budgeted 40.5 billion. So where is the 20.4 billion? You're supposed to spend 40.5. What happened? Obviously there has to be programs that is, where is the 20.4 billion? That I don't get it. Something is very, very wrong. But anyway, this follows an underspend of 19 billion of the capital budget in FY 2024 to 2025. So last year they spent under 19 billion less than what they projected, and almost 9 billion shortfall in 2023 to 2024. So Robinson said, it is clear that we now have an unacceptable pattern of chronic under execution. Why are they projecting these figures and not spending them on the projects? Very interesting. It says here that this will only continue unless the government tackles the inefficiencies and bottlenecks in the public procurement system that are strangling the implementation of critical projects. He pointed to the region comparison, noting that the Dominican Republic, for example, has committed a multi-year national infrastructure investment plan of US 12 billion, of which US 9.6 billion has already been spent, with ongoing execution of major infrastructure projects across all provinces. He added that its government had recently increased capital expenditure by 0.4% on gross domestic product GDP to sustain investment growth. Robinson argued that the Jamaica situation represents a growth constraining concern for the economy. Ladies and gentlemen, the economy needs to grow. Why are they underspending in capital with the capital budget? Is this an attempt to undermine our economy? Make it make sense. That's just my question. Here we go. It says at the very time when the government needs higher levels of growth to generate additional revenues, the persistent under execution of capital projects is constraining economic expansion, he said, referencing the Bank of Jamaica forecast of 2 to 3% growth for September quarter. Robinson noted that this must be viewed in context, right? He said most of that growth is simply recovery growth. That means the economy fell and they are recovering from that fall. He said, right, it reflects the fact that the economy contracted in the same quarter last year due to impact of Hurricane Beryl. The real question is, what are we doing to ensure sustainable long-term growth beyond these temporary rebounds? Robinson emphasized the urgency on the matter, stating, without decisive actions to reform procurement, accelerate project execution, and create the conditions for higher sustained growth, the country will continue to face weaker than projected revenues and under-delivered promises to the Jamaican people. Ladies and gentlemen, this is something for us to pay attention to. Anytime you see the shadow spokesperson, Mr. Julian Robinson, come out, he does not come out to talk foolishness or propaganda or scandal or none of that. He's a very, very serious guy. And I'm very, very serious about the business of Jamaica. And I really wanted to bring that to you guys' attention. I mean, what do you guys think? Why are they under, executing on these capital projects? Why? What's really be upset? Hold on. Let me know. Whoa. Watch out. What? Damn, son.